quiet. I don't want to hear a word out of you. Last thing I need is the f***ing cops on my case on top of everything else. Ah! Did you really just bite me? Congratulations, the cuffs are staying on. The audacity. Hey, buddy, you're early. I need a minute. I gotta change my hat. I don't like the hat that I have on. Hey guys, it's Tom's Refurb here. Last time you saw Masutangu, we were doing a whole bunch of fabrication work and cleaning and manual labor before painting the interior. Now the inside is all painted. As you can see, the paint booth is still up, the car is still masked. So we got a lot of work to do to get it back together, better than it's ever been before. So in this video, let's do just that. Gotta put the paint booth up first. Alright, now let's pull off all this masking and see just how nice this paint job came out. And I'm gonna do it so fast. Ready? We're all unmasked now. And damn, this thing looks good! Check it out in there. Now before I go crazy on assembly, I have to tackle something that I basically forgot about until the paint was done, which is the filler neck. Come over here, look at this. The filler neck is inside of the car, and when it was a coupe, it wasn't really a problem. I would just pop the trunk and put a funnel in it, but now it's a problem. So, I'm gonna jack it up and see if I can finagle something that works better. So after jacking it up, we can see in here, this is where the filler neck inside connects. So what I'm gonna do is remove it from the bottom, and I'm gonna run it over here through the trunk and then out the top of the quarter panel. That way I don't have to mess with any of that beautiful painted sheet metal inside. Should be fine. She a little low on fuel, huh? Oh damn, it's tight. I can't see shit. And boom! Wow, that wasn't hard at all. That was so easy. Now that we got that old filler neck off, but still plugged up so I don't die in a horrific fireball, let's work on the new gas cap, which is this awesome polished aluminum. Flip cap. It's gonna be so badass. And guess what? I'm putting it right here. Boom! Right there, on the money. Let's make some holes. First hole has to be in there, kind of in the corner general area. Alright, that hole is nice and clean. So now, let's decide where we want this. I'm thinking right about there. I like this. I'm definitely eyeballing it. No measurements needed. What do you think, cameraman?
Looks good to me.
Forward, backward, or right here?
Right here.
Right here. Through we go. Alright, now I can pop these back off. And I can get rid of this silly little concoction here. Stupid, unneeded filler neck. You see that? That's a problem that Dynamat can solve. So now we have these rubber bits here that we can use as a baseline for the tube size. So I know that this filler neck is 2 inches and this is, I don't know, like 1.5 inches or 1.75 inches or something like that. So I have to make a pipe that goes from here all the way down through the trunk to the tank, and then we'll just use rubber to secure the top and the bottom, because we don't want this whole thing made of rubber. It's gonna shear, it's gonna leak, it's gonna be a mess. So that's gonna require a little bit of thinking and fabrication and all sorts of stuff like that. So after some measurement, I see that from this hole down to the level that the fuel tank rubber is at is 10 inches, which gives us a little extra through the trunk. And we need a 90-degree angle to shoot right towards, or a little less than 90 degree, maybe we'll go 45, to shoot right at that rubber. So that also needs to be a 10-inch length. So what we need to make first, or find first, is about 1.5 inch or 2-inch pipe that is 10 inches down, 90 or 45-degree angle, and then another 10 inches. And then it's gonna look exactly like this. That's what we need first. going with a I don't have one. While hoarding through the exhaust dash, I was able to find this, which I think will work for the bottom portion. And then I found this, which honestly looks pretty close to working for the top portion. So I'm gonna go eyeball this and actually bring the rubber bits down that I forgot. This is what we got so far. I have a 45-degree 2-inch exhaust piece that I oh so beautifully necked down to this 1-inch or 1.5 inch stainless pipe. And then we got the filler neck piece here, so I'm gonna see if this fits. And if it does, I'm gonna make something that connects the top of this to the actual gas cap. Blood goes everywhere. So I just cut this piece of exhaust pipe here. That's gonna go through the floor. And then we get our bit here that we've been working on. Oh, that's nice. So after some precision Sharpie marks, this tailpipe right here is gonna go right here at this angle, and we're gonna go down and weld it. This is just gonna be a perfectly flowing fuel fill-up system. It doesn't really matter. Calm down, it doesn't matter that much. Ouch. All right, let's check the fitment here. We're creating something. It's nothing pretty, but we're creating something. Ow. I have contact. So now, what I think I'm gonna do is connect the top portion with the bottom portion via a little rubber sleeve, just because it's gonna be a pain in the ass to try to snake this long, ugly metal thing through that tiny hole. So what I'm gonna do is trim this up now, probably about right here. And I think that'll be enough to where it'll sit like this, and then we could connect them with that rubber hose and a couple hose clamps. And then from there on up, probably, honestly, to be honest, TBH, it'll be pretty damn close. It's like building an exhaust system, except at the end, I do not have the satisfaction of hearing it. Therefore, it's boring. That'll work. Come here. Take a gander at this. Look at this. Boom. And boom. Pretty much right where we need it. Right on the money. Alright. So we just gotta figure out the next bend. That'll connect right there. Oh, so beautifully. Alright, after some calculated guesstimations and some eyeball engineering, I'm gonna take this bend, I'm gonna cut this piece off, and then I'm gonna take this piece and put it up here at a different angle. So, in theory, this will go from the floor, up, back, up, you know? Just like that. Hope you're paying attention. I have to poop. It's like a puzzle, it's not that fun to solve. I think with the rubber piece on the bottom and on the top, it'll fill in the little spaces that we need, but this piece is definitely gonna work. So what I'm gonna do now is take both pieces out, and then I'm gonna finish welding and sand and paint them, make them look all pretty, and then we gotta go get some rubber bits for them. Wow, very nice. Holding my breath, by the way, not reading in this silly junk. Now that our pieces are in paint, let's run to the hardware store and get some rubber couplers for this. We'll take the old daily driver. You've never seen it before, but it's my daily driver. Come on.
Let me in! Hey! Hey!
Welcome.
Hey, you're sitting on my jacket!
Hear that? That's a 2.2 liter 4-cylinder Chevrolet. You didn't even notice that, dude. Hold on, let me do it again for you. Let me do it again. Oh!
Whoa!
Oh! You ever felt a 4-banger with the driver mod? 3, 2, 1. this truck is that you can beat the shit out of it for a long time, and you won't really be breaking any speed laws at all. It's fine. Just need to find something that clamps onto this. I think these will work. They're definitely not rated for E85, but I think we could get them on there. Fun fact, these are actually what I used in my intercooler pipe that I had to modify. Thanks, hardware store. Would you guess that I was never good at sports at all? Now, before the paint even gets to dry, we almost forgot this tube. So I'm gonna cut it off here, weld it onto here, and it'll be fine. A little bit of touch-up work here. This never happened. Now I'm gonna put the beautiful gas cap into our hole, and we'll drill it out. I went ahead and got some nice stainless steel screws. It'll sit in there, nice and flush. It's gonna look so good. Just gonna drill it in. Ooh, there's a lot of lead. This right here, I tried to weld a patch over it, and it ended up just being straight lead. So I gave up. And I'm thinking there's a lot of lead in this roof. We'll get all these screws in here. I also got little tiny lock nuts, also stainless, so that'll keep all the screws tight. It's gonna be kind of a pain in the ass to install these stuff. I'm just gonna do it by feel. Wow, it's so much easier, believe it or not. That's crazy. This pipe is sort of dry enough. I don't really care that much. Hey, just go pop it on there. Feel the burn. You'll get it. Oh no. This little hose is not long enough. This is hard, dude. Why is this such a challenge for me? Now for the little evap hose or whatever it is. Put that evap on, man. Put that evap. Bottom nice and tight. Top nice and tight. Oh man, we're installed. I might have to put a little buffer inside the hole so it doesn't rattle, but I mean, that looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and, dude, the hardware store coupler, what a solution. Couldn't be easier, honestly. Boom. We get the bottom right there. Nice, and then we get the top portion. What? What? You're telling me it's that simple? 2. And the bottom's tight. Now that that's out of the way, let's finally lay down the Dynamat. That's Dynamat. Now this is the exact stuff I peeled off the floor before painting, and I'm putting it right back on. Dynamat is awesome because it sticks to the floor, covers imperfections, and just all around makes it look like a race car. And no, I'm not sponsored. I just like to use this to make crappy carpetless cars look like race cars. Works like a charm every time. So in Masutangu's case, we want this to stop some of the rattles and seal some of the airflow in places we don't want it, and generally it's just gonna make the inside of the car look cleaner. We're gonna start by dynamatting the trunk to seal it off from some weather and stop it from rattling so much, and then we're gonna do the entire floor and the inside of the roof. We're gonna leave everything else nice and pretty, but the Dynamat will help stop the rattles and seal from the weather and just look so cool. It's gonna look so cool. God. Let's go. I'm gonna give these surfaces a brief wipe down because we were using WD-40 in here, and I want that stuff to stick real nice. First sheet. We're not gonna be spectacularly neat with this because it's literal sound deadening. And it's gonna lay down little wrinkly and I want it nice and even in there. Yep, that's pretty damn good. This stuff is super nice and versatile. You just really cut it and stick it. I'm gonna set the little pieces aside to fill in little spaces. I've used this on multiple cars that are ugly in the interior, and it just helps. La 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 la. I need more now. That's what I say when I run out of meth. Wow. Wow, you can't even see my ugly fabrication work under this. Wow. I can play with this all day. That's what I said. Oh, remember how before this whole thing was like boing, boing? It's called sound deadening for a reason. Here. Do you think we should film every single piece that I lay down on the entire car? Just make this like a 45-minute long video. Me laying down Dynamat. Now before I crawl up in here and lay sound deadening against this rear panel, listen to this for comparison. That's what it sounds like without Dynamat. Alright, and now that it's Dynamated, listen to this. The annoying dong rattle is gone, which is pretty cool. Now the trunk is done. Look at this. Look at this. Uh-huh. Looks professional, huh? Doesn't look like an idiot made it, huh? We're gonna put you guys on a tripod so cameraman and I can do the rest quickly. Now that the trunk's done, we're gonna bang out the floor and the ceiling. We're not gonna detailed film all of this because you kind of see how it works. It's not that hard. So get in your freaking car seat, get in your baby stroller. Come on, get up there. Good job. That sound deadening sure does work. Check it out. We got the floor all done. And we also got the roof done. Of course, we used the other stuff. As you can see, the roof is a different material. We didn't actually know that we had two kinds of Dynamat, but we do. So the roof and the trunk are in the shiny stuff, and the floor is in the nice satin black stuff. So it looks pretty cool. Now it's time for some ultra fun, super exciting work. My absolute favorite, actually. Wiring. Now this large bundle of wires has just always kind of sat in the back of the car. I don't really know what all it does, but I'm gonna hook it back up and see if I can either hide it or eradicate a lot of it. So I know that this plugs in here, click, and this plugs in here, click. This I'm a little unsure of. Now an intelligent person would have thought of this before finishing the entire interior, but I'm not intelligent. So what I'm gonna do is run this wiring harness through the old filler neck hole in here, and then I'm gonna drill a new hole in the trunk for it to come up through. So it's gonna travel under the car briefly, and then I can leave this mumbo jumbo mess tucked back here where no one can see it, and it's gonna be fine. Now we'll take this and I will make it go down, and then I will get under the car, and then I make it go back up. Now you might say, Tom, what are you gonna do with those holes in your perfect, freshly finished floor? There's nothing a little bit of flex tape can't cover up. Look at this, look at this. Ready? Ready? Oh, we'll get a little wrap job around the wire so it stays watertight. And then we'll seal that bad mofo off. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. After that, if you're feeling crazy, oh, you plug two in. Boom! And then you take this flex tape and you do the same thing. Let's ground out this harness. Now in Masutangu version 1, that bundle was in the inside and we just used sticky things to hold it to the inside of the quarters, but what I'm going to do here is run these behind the taillight mounting brackets, like so, and then I'm going to loop them and zip tie them, boop, like that, and then plug them in. All this is going to be routed so beautifully. See these little sticky goobers that honestly didn't even last that long? Just use these zip ties here, Everything is so clean when you zip tie it together. All right, our lights are back in. They're installed. They're looped out of the way for the most part. I think that's good enough for me. Now it's time to reinstall all the gauges, including 2 new ones. Because as you can see here, I've been using this crappy little mechanical temp gauge, and as you know, we integrated those beautiful black AEM gauges into our custom dashboard, and I want more. So I picked up an AEM temp gauge that I'm gonna mount right here to the roll bar. It's gonna look super sexy. And also, this car has never had a boost gauge. I don't really know what kind of boost it's pushing at all times. And for a while, I was driving it over boosting, which was bad. So, I decided to utilize this ugly haphazard patch panel here, and I found a digital boost gauge that will screw right in place. It's gonna look really cool. Not gonna have a leaky fitting here. Check this out. Look at this little piece right here. Can you see that? I made that myself because the factory temp gauge wasn't working, and instead of troubleshooting it like an intellectual, I did the smart thing and made my own mechanical temp sensor port. Yeah, I'm sure there were plenty of other ports I could have used, but all these Honda electronics are hard for me to understand. So I'm just gonna separately wire another temp gauge, but at least it'll be AEM and it'll look super cool. Just daggone thing out of the way. Stupid overflow. I actually really like this. They gave me a harness with only 4 wires. Click! And then we'll stuff it through the hole here. Gotta extend the wires here because they're not quite long enough.
Tom had to run inside, so it's time for a little eating soldering montage.
Boom! Burn this heat shrink, get it nice and shrunk. Now I'm gonna use this nice braided wire loom, and at the same time, here's a lesson to my younger viewers. It's about love, and it's about nature. I'm just kidding. This wire loom is especially fun because you can like just squeeze it on. And beautiful. Got that loomed up, tied up. Now let's route it professionally. We'll follow the throttle cable here, and then come up under with these other wires. Click. We use some zip ties, tie them up all pretty like, and we'll be done. I'm now going over the wires that are already in here. Like all this stuff is for the other AEM gauges and the Honda cluster here. So, I got my new temp gauge. I'm gonna feed it through the roll bar. Now Tom, why are you feeding it through the roll bar, you ask? It's because it's going on the roll bar. Currently figuring out a good power source at the fuse box. Boy, wiring such a good time. I've now found where the previous owners wired in the AEM gauges to the fuse panel, and I can do a little bit better job. So while wiring my new gauge, I'm simultaneously going to improve how they wired in the gauges. I'm going to pump the brakes on finishing the wiring for my new gauge because I also have to wire this gauge, so may as well do it all at the same time and make my own life easier. So let's figure out how to wire this in. They included all sorts of hardware, and they actually made a mounting bracket, which will be really easy to screw into that. That's pretty cool. By the way, you know how hard it is to find a square boost gauge? It's pretty hard. You have to Google square boost gauge. I'm now going to drill a hole in my freshly painted, freshly fabricated custom dashboard. Mark it. Ooh, that is baking the paint. Sorry, perfect new dash. As if it was actually perfect. Now, in theory, the wiring for the boost gauge will go right through here. That's going to be perfect. I even got a little grind. I'm like preparing. That's strange. Look at me go. We'll see. Does this plug fit through here? Oh yeah, that'll go through, no sweat. Pop those wires in. 1, 2. Look at that. Boom. Oops. Now that sits nice and clean. All the wires are loomed, and we can install that just like that. Click, and the extension wire plugs into this actual little boost sensor. So hopefully this is long enough to stretch deep into the engine compartment.
I got it.
Boost pressure sensor is connected. We'll solder some extendo clips on this power wire. Ground extended. All right, power wire, I see you. Extended. Shrink. Wrapped.
So these are the wires they used to originally wire the two AEM gauges. So we have two going into one with this funny plastic splice thingy, and then we had two soldered into one to this terminal for ground. So what I'm going to do is cut these off and then solder everything together because we're doing 4 tiny wires into one big wire. Probably not the right way to do it, but it'll work. All right, these are the wires. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I should have wired myself. These are the extended wires for our boost gauge. Snip. Hopefully this isn't too long. I feel like this video is gonna be like 10 minutes of me doing electrical work. Slice. These are the power and ground wires for all 4 gauges, and I'm gonna do the proper thing and splice each 4 into one wire, and then plug one into the fuse box and one into ground, so I know that they're all going to the same place. It's not the right way to do it, and you silly electricians are probably gonna be like kicking yourself in the face and like punching holes in the wall, whatever else you guys do. But I'm gonna do it anyways because I know it's gonna work. There is a method to my madness. I'm gonna splice 2 and 2, so they're split up into pairs. As you can see, I'm twisting each pair together. So 2 makes 1. Look at this. And then we take those 2 pairs and we start twisting them together. One good twist. Here I have a nice thick gauge power wire with a terminal on the end, and it's V'd off, of course. Now I'm gonna make one spectacular solderable thing, maybe. Look at that, that's like a braid, it's like a steel braided line. That's steel cable. You could basically use this for a prison fence. Now just shrink wrap these 4 into 1 connections together. Installing the ground, I forgot my safety glasses.
That was fun.
All right, do a little test. Look at all these gauges we got. Look at all of them dangling. Ready? Booyah! Now for this boost gauge, I'm gonna mount it just like this. The gauges are in, they're wired, they work, and they look sexy. So speaking of sexy, let's put this dashboard together for the last time. We do have a little bit of work to do on the tiny pieces though. Now for the tiny dashboard components, such as my awesome homemade gauge cluster, the steering column cover, this dash vent, and the ashtray. I'm gonna be painting these things black, so with this old metal, I'm knocking off the old paint, filler priming, and painting satin black. With the plastic cover, just gonna scuff prep and hit it with satin black, and then we're gonna do something special with this. It's gonna be good as new when I'm done. Ooh, baby. Everything in this car is gonna be so clean. Hopefully I don't scratch the ever-loving shit out of everything when I'm putting it back together. Which I probably will, but it's alright. This stuff's all painted up, looks pretty good. Now for this dash piece. I like to kind of shine some light on the fabrication process, and instead of painting it black too, I'm gonna knock all of this coating off and then go for a polish, then I'll clear coat it. It might not be super shiny, but we'll make it look pretty good. First, I'm gonna use this little roll lock wheel to knock all the coating off and also smooth out the sanding scratches. Even that finish alone isn't hateful. Now I'm gonna use this little flap disc on this, and I'm gonna knock all that coating off. You gotta get a little artful when you build shit like this, you know what I'm saying? A little artful. I feel like that's kinda cool. I do
Starburst, little shine. They shine bright like a diamond, you know what I'm saying? Kinda cool. All right, I'm really happy with this. A little bit of creativity, a little right angle grinder. I'm gonna hit this with some clear coat, call it good enough. And then hell, maybe I'll wet sand and buff the clear coat. Maybe I'll go crazy on this. Maybe it'll be the coolest damn thing you've ever seen in your life. I'm just getting this thing nice and clean with some prep wall. I don't want any dirt stuck in here. Ready? Roll. Record. I'm gonna get this surface nice and toasted warm so this clear coat will stick right to it. Get the oh so proper 2K clear coat spray can. Woo! Woo! Oh yeah, baby. Calling that good enough. Got like 3 or 4 coats of clear on it. It looks awesome, and I'm just gonna let it dry overnight. I'm not gonna fingerprint it up. I'm gonna let it get nice and hard.
One eternity later.
First thing going in, sexy satin black steering column cover. Let's see how badly I can scratch up this nice, freshly cured paint. Now we'll go for the ashtray. Oh, there we go. Ooh! Look at that. I could put crack pipes and little baggies of heroin in there. Perfect. Now for the beautiful brand new CJ's glove box door. There we go. Got a little paint chip while adjusting, but I'll fix that. That looks sexy. Now let's go for that beautiful custom dashboard and all the gauges. I cannot wait to see how this looks. Here's our beautiful cluster that we spent so much time making in a previous video. As you can see, I applied this 1/8 inch thick foam tape here to hopefully seal the gap between this and the metal cluster cover. So, this goes in oh so simply. And for the first time in a while, I'm actually gonna plug it in. Hopefully I didn't all the wiring up. 1 wire, 2 wires, click, 3 wires, and last wire, if I can make it reach. Uh-oh. We're all plugged in, let's go for the install. Slide onto those studs that we so perfectly engineered. Woo, that foam tape does the job. That actually took care of that gap really nicely. Cool. Now I'm gonna take these nuts and I'm gonna tighten the back side of the cluster to the dashboard. Here we go, like a doctor. Get the top of the cluster in, last bolt. Woo, baby. Does it work? Yeah. And for the part I'm most excited about, the beautiful hand fabricated, sanded, clear coated, and gauges installed cluster cover. Let's plug them in. Oh yeah, baby. I am very excited about this. I just made a rather disappointing discovery. For my water temp gauge here that we just wired up, I bought this fancy roll bar mount so I could put it like up here or down here or something, but I'm dumb and I bought the wrong size. So this is gonna be installed a little bit later when I buy the right roll bar mount, AKA 2 days from now. Almost forgot about the dash vent. Hey, these seats have been in Masutangu ever since I bought it as a go-kart. They've been sitting in this garage for like 6 months now and they're super dusty and disgusting, so I'm gonna spend some time with a vacuum and a scrub brush and some sprayable chemicals, and we're gonna make these look really nice. While I wait for those seats to dry off, I'm gonna toss in the harnesses. Crank these bad boys down. And now for the seats that are gonna be really hard to put in here. Perfect. Tighten these bad boys up. What are you talking about? I love laying on the floor to tighten bolts. Oh, that's so fun.
I can't get it off there. Now for something I am very excited about, which are finally door panels. I have never had door panels on this car. I've been rocking this look ever since I built it, and it looks bad. So I'm very excited to install some brand new door panels. Well, what kind of door panels did you get, Tom? I went on eBay and saw the options, and you know I had to go with these. Brand new, beautiful TMI red door panels, just to complement the other red accents in the car. Oh, it's gonna look so sweet. Woo! Got the clips in. That is super awesome. Oh my gosh. Damn, Masutangu, you looking good!
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. You think you could just attack me? You think you can assault me? I'm unbreakable. But seriously though, why does this look so nice? Ooh, baby. And for 2 finishing touches, we finally got the properly sized roll bar gauge mount here. So I'm gonna pop this on for our temp gauge. Where you at? And for the finishing touch, let's get rid of this cheap, crappy shift knob. And let's put on one more cheap, crappy shift knob. But look at this one, dude. It says we're going fast, which is what we're gonna be doing. So, I think it complements the interior nicely. Boop! I just gotta install it and figure out what thread it is. And calling that good. Oh yeah. It says fast on it now. Fast. What is that called? Fast. What's 5th gear? Fast. And now for one last finishing touch. That would have been so cool. How do people do this? Perfect. Damn, Mustang, you looking fine as hell. Oh, the interior of this car looks way too good. Masutangu should not be this clean or functional in any place, yet it is. So, I don't know what I was gonna say next. I forgot. You know, I don't really use a script here. I'm just kind of ad-libbing it. I'm kind of figuring it out. You know, I don't know what the going on most of the time. You know, most of the time I'm confused. A lot of the times I'm scared. You don't know that. I don't show it. I don't portray it. I'm terrified right now. I'm mortified at this very moment. I think the world's gonna cave in, if I'm being honest with you, but it's okay. It's okay because Masutangu is almost back on the road and I am just held together with this little string called the automotive hobby. Anyways, thanks for watching the coolest damn automotive content on YouTube. I will see you guys very soon to finish up the rest of this car and get it back on the road. Bye.